Agenda 2, consent agenda. All the following items which concern reports and items of routine nature normally approved at AHA meetings will be approved by one vote, unless any trustee desires to have a separate vote on any or all the items. Consent agenda consists of discussion, consideration, and action of the following items. A, minutes of the regular trustee meeting on November 25th, 2025. B, the Finance Committee meeting minutes, January 27th, 2026. C, the check report, November 9th, 2025 to December 8th, 2025. And D, the check report, December 9th, 2025 to January 8th, 2026. I have a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Dr. Mossberg. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Mossberg, a second by Dr. Brown to approve the consent agenda items A through D. Any questions? Roll call?
Yes.
Bowman, Burke,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes. Okay, CEO's report.
Okay, clinic visits for December were strong, which was nice to see an increase in those. Bianca Reese, PA, started in the clinic the first week of January. She's been doing a great job. She is not fully credentialed at this point with all of the payers. She is credentialed with Blue Cross, Medicare, and Health Choice. Those just kind of roll in as, time allows. So she is seeing those three plus self-pay at this point. So we're excited to have Bianca. In her downtime, she's shadowing Steve or any of the other providers. Weight Loss Clinic is doing well. We did lower our prices recently due to a cost decrease, so we passed that along to our patients. The OU trauma crew provided provided 2 burn camp educations for our staff, so we were excited to participate in that. The practical nursing program at Northwest Technology will be doing their spring clinical rotations with us. And we have several RN graduates that have completed their orientation, and they're doing a great job. Sometimes you hear us talk about 340B and the savings that can gain us for the hospital. In 2025, we gave 108 Prolia injections for a total savings of $128,628. So that shows you what a great savings that program is for us. IT's got several things going on. One of the things they're working on, you've heard me talk about Know-Before. That's the simulations that are sent out to our staff. Staff doesn't know it's a simulation, so they have to decide, is this real, is this fake? And so they are overhauling those to be able to publish some new fishing simulations to help our staff learn, to not get tripped up, because then you have to do education. So if you send me something, you might ought to call me and let me know that I need to open it. Because nothing worse than the CEO having to get retrained. So I try to be very careful, as we all do. In the months of November and December, we had 0 turnover, which is great. Amanda's been working very hard. She had us participate in the Christmas bed races downtown. We got 4th place, and I think they got some tips and tricks to learn to be faster next year. So we're looking forward to that, to being super competitive. Christmas light parade. We also hosted Santa. He was supposed to fly in on survival flight, and 30 minutes before he was supposed to be here, they got called out. So he came in on the fire truck. So we were thankful for the fire department to participate and to be able to bring Santa in on the fire truck. The kids enjoyed it regardless. So she's been on the radio a couple times so far at KLV. Social media has increased at the time of this 230% in engagement, 192% in views. I was telling her a while ago, I was in the city last week, and a friend of mine asked me, said, hey, do you have a new social media person? I said, actually we do, and she said, I can tell she's doing a great job. I can really tell the difference, so great job. The month of February, we are doing $55 heart scans. February being Valentine's Day and to promote the heart, so there's more information to come on that. Planning for MASH Camp, we typically work with Northwest Tech and Northwestern to host MASH Camp for the kids, and that's usually in May, I believe, right after they get out of school. We met with, Amanda and I went down to the city last week and met with a couple of DO prospects to recruit, so we had lunch with them and just try to keep in contact, and as they get closer and closer to making a decision, we're hopeful that we can get a couple recruited. Amanda also has worked with Great Salt Plains and OSU to get approved for residency programs so that they can, residents can rotate out here for clinical sites, and hopefully that'll help us as well to get the word out and get some exposure for recruiting residents from those programs. Continuing to work on strategic planning and growth, access improvement strategies for the surrounding communities, strengthening our community partnerships, and just looking at ways that we can expand our services and retain those patients that we do have, or maybe get back ones that we've lost. So that's our focus that we're heavily invested in this next year. So, does anybody have any questions?
No questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve and accept the Share Medical Center written report for January 2026?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Brown and a second by Mr. Martin to approve and accept the Share Medical Center report for January 2026. Roll call?
Burke,
Yes.
Mossberg,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Martin.
Okay. Agenda item 4, CFO's report. We'll start with the statistics report and financial report, letter A.
I'll just briefly hit November, since we've got 2 months worth of financials in the packet. But November, we did have a net operating loss of $365,903. And then after sales tax, the net loss was $247,957. That gave us a year-to-date at that time of a loss of $81,779. Things changed a little bit when we got, November was a little bit weird. We never have months with 18 business days, but November was one of those months where we had 18 business days. So there was just fewer days where we were open for business. And so when that happens, the revenue was down, and I think that was pretty well the reason that we saw the majority of that loss, because expenses were pretty well in line with where they needed to be. December, on the other hand, we had a regular full month, even with the Christmas holiday in there. Still had 22 business days, and it was our highest revenue month of the year. But we also, December is where we experienced the clawback from our cost report. And so that kind of, it was good that we had a good month. Wasn't great that we had that clawback from Medicare. The cash balance for December was up more than you have probably ever seen it. It was $3,091,548. That is because we closed on the loan in December. On December 10th, we closed on the loan. The money was in our bank on December 11th. And so when we closed out December, that money was sitting in the bank in our regular operating cash. It won't be that high next month. Our accounts receivable balance was $3,385,354. That was an increase of $142,000 for the month of December. Our AR days have continued to trend down. November we were at a total AR days and unbilled days of 42.2, but December we dropped that down to 39.7. Being under 40 is a good place to be, but when we spoke today with Code Quick, we're going to try to move that needle down to about 35.
Is that our highest revenue month?
I thought it was.
I think it is.
So we're really doing pretty good on our accounts receivable. Accounts payable balance also looked good, $607,289. And I want to point out that is after we had a lot of payables in December because $517,000 was our cost report not settlement payable. And so to keep the accounts payable down to that number was really good performance for our team, and it was possible because of the strong revenue that we had and the payments that we had come in the door. Gross patient revenue, like I said, $2.6 million. That was the highest this fiscal year, and it was a $285,000 increase compared to November. Our patient days in November were 63 compared to 60 in December were 63 compared to 60 in November, and our office visits were up to 1493 compared to 1341 in November. So big improvement there month to month. Contractuals less bad debt and charity care were 44%. Net patient revenue after adjustments was $1,465,261. That was almost $340,000 more than November, and that was also our best net revenue month of the year by pretty good margin.
I've looked back for years.
Charity care in December was $750. Our operating expenses, excluding salaries, benefits, depreciation, bad debt, and charity care, were $1.5 million. That was up $861,000 compared to the prior month. December is one of those months where our quarterly lease payments come due. It's also one of those. It was the month that we had the $517,000. I need to quit saying that. But anyway, our cost report clawed back. Wages were up $19,735 for a total of $530,827. And our December net operating loss was $621,341 after we add in our non-operating income of sales tax and interest. We were at a loss of $498,788, and that puts our year-to-date loss at $583,338. I do feel like January revenue is coming in pretty good right now. So cash flow has also been pretty good, and I feel like we'll probably finish the year on a strong note, but we will also probably likely experience we're not going to probably get an interim cost report settlement. That'll probably be a payable as well, but I think we're trending in the right shape, in the right direction with volumes right now. January keeps up what it's doing, and that'll be a pretty good month.
Any questions for Kelly? Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to item B, which is the approval or disapproval of Resolution 2026-001, resolution of the Alva Hospital Authority authorizing the removal of Kelly Parker as owner signer in addition of Kimberly Ball on all Alva Hospital Authority, Share Medical Center, and its subsidiary bank accounts, CDs, investment accounts, line of credit, and loans effective February 9, 2026, Again, this is when our new CFO is coming on board to start, so this is just something we do always in transition. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think all the accounts are listed in the exhibit on the resolution. I did add language there that should there be an omission in error, that doesn't exclude Kim from being the owner and signer on that.
Do I have a motion to approve resolution 2026-001?
I make a motion to approve resolution 2026-001.
Thank you, Dr. Mossberg. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion by Dr. Mossberg, second by Dr. Brown to approve resolution 2026-001 as it was read earlier. Roll call?
Martin,
Yes.
Burke,
Yes.
Mossberg. Yes. Brown,
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes. Okay, moving on to 4C, we have a approval or disapproval of the construction agreement between Alva Hospital Authority and Train for Train Project number 8088875, Phase 1 projects. If you remember, we have, and I'll let Kelly jump in, but construction manager is Train, have the money now in our account for Phase 1, so
So yeah, just in case, just for a little bit of historical perspective, we began working with Train in August, or we signed their first kind of letter of commitment with Train in August of 2024. At that point, they came in and did an in-depth analysis of our physical plant, our HVAC, our windows, our energy efficiency or inefficiencies, they did a very comprehensive review of our hospital facility. With that, they developed a priority list of equipment items that they advised that we would be in our best interest to address these issues as quickly as we could, as reasonably possible. And so we've continued that process along to the point where now they have fully scoped out our projects and have given us a construction agreement. I'll pass it around if you want to read it. It's a very, Drew's read a lot of it.
Yes.
So. But 40 pages of basically legal contract language followed by scope of projects. But we are going to be replacing some original equipment, some older equipment that wasn't original, and then doing some upgrades in other areas of the hospital. But just kind of a real quick rundown. First item is air handler unit in the operating room. That's just under $600,000 for it. The next item is another air handler unit in the surgery support area. That's $567,000. LED lighting upgrades in the entire first floor and patient rooms. It will exclude some offices, but it's going to get the majority of the first floor with the LED lighting upgrades. And with that, with all of these HVAC and lighting projects, we will also qualify for some OG&E energy rebates, so we will be applying for those to get that funding back into our pockets. But the lighting is coming in at a cost of $118,000. The cooling tower that's going to serve all of our HVAC that was part of the original building and then what we're upgrading is going to be refurbished and upgraded with new equipment. Basically, a cooling tower is a metal box with some mechanical components and media in there. And so all new media, new motors, new other mechanical parts, and that is $155,000. I will tell you that a brand new cooling tower was priced to us at $568,000. So this is basically going to get us just as far down the road and save us quite a bit of money. We'll also have building automation system. Right now, think about your thermostats that you may or may not control from your smartphone or your laptop or your tablet. And then it's basically that on steroids. Right now, the hospital has old original pneumatic control systems combined with technology that's only maybe 15 or 20 years old from our newest projects or most recent projects that we've done. This system will tie basically get rid of every other system and put all of our control system into one system. That is going to be very important as we try to make sure that we're looking to expand. With all of these projects, we're looking to be able to expand services and have more volumes, and with a huge focus on surgery. So controlling climate, controlling humidity, being able to do so with some level of accuracy and not a range of degrees or percentages and things like that is very important. And this building automation system will allow us to do that from basically anywhere, but also from right here in the building. And it should also have a big impact on our energy utilization. We'll be able to set controls to where this room is not always, kept at, 70 degrees, but that when it's in use, it's scheduled and it's at a proper temperature. When it's not in use, it's dropped down to where it's, not using as much energy. That building automation system and a contingency in there. There's some aspects of our system that they weren't able to see in the plans, or it's behind the wall or above the ceiling. And they put a $50,000 contingency in there, but the budget for the automation system upgrades is $319,000. Also, what's been our north side of the hospital main patient floor is basically where all of our surgery patients go post-op, and so in pre-op. And so we've been having issues with those fan coil units, the air and heat in those rooms, along with the plumbing underneath those units. So we'll replace all of those fan coil units. Those were not replaced in 2010 when we did the first floor renovation. So these are all original from 1969 construction. Those replacements will be $230,000. We're looking at, with this project, all of the windows on the original hospital. If they were original window, they're being replaced. Along with the masonry, that if you've looked at the building, we have some defects in that, that all of that will be replaced. $175,000. We are putting air curtains at 3 locations in the hospital, and what an air curtain does is basically it's forced air at your entry so that it keeps bugs and the outside air out and the inside air in when the doors open. And so we're doing that at the main entrance. We're doing that at the physical therapy, and we're doing that downstairs here where the SLS patients enter